Welcome, Libra. This is Regina from Pacific Tarot, getting ready to do your new moon in Sagittarius reading. The new moon in Sagittarius is on the 13th of December, on its way to the winter solstice, which is on the 22nd of December. This is a time as the days are shortening and the sky becomes a larger part of our day. We are covered by the dome of our aspirations, our dreams, the things that are significant to us, the efforts that we want to make towards our success, our happiness, and the greater good. This is also about healing and service. So the winter solstice is naturally a celebration of the return of the light. So that is the context in which I've combined the African tarot and the tarot of the divine together into one big fat deck. I will clarify with a couple of oracle cards, and I will create an extended reading from this. It will be linked in the description box below. At any point in this reading, if you find that it's resonating, please consider liking this video, sharing it with others, commenting below. I enjoy knowing how this is helpful to you, if it is, and subscribing to my channel, Pacific Tarot. I, moreover, really appreciate your time and your presence with me here. So that is the most important thing, since your presence is what informs my ability to pick up on your energies and read for you thoughtfully. I will probably make this ask again at the end, but if in case you don't make it that far, I honor your time. So let's get going. Thank you for that in advance. And your overall energy is the Strength card, Libra. This is particularly for the new moon in Sagittarius, where you are going to be cultivating and processing the way you communicate, the way you learn. You're cultivating greater silence, a greater ability to look at the through lines in the information that you're receiving, a greater ability to listen, to use your intuition to understand what support others are seeking from you, as at this time you are radiating a lot of power, a lot of courage, and a lot of strength. You are okay not receiving the recognition you get. This is in many ways about building up your karma, because you understand by supporting others to be better at what they do, that you in that way are creating a more successful enterprise or venture that you're engaged in together, and a better world, and you are content with that. This doesn't mean that you have not had to persevere through some incredibly challenging times, and this is also an acknowledgement of that. In your present, we have the Ten of Wands. In the past, the Knight of Swords, and in the present, in the future, the Emperor. So the Ten of Wands is really about you releasing old obligations and responsibilities that belong to others, that fulfill the needs and desires of others, but may not, in fact, fill your needs. This is you working at your expense to provide for others. And it isn't that you're dispensing with your obligations, that you're not fulfilling your tasks or responsibilities because you honor a job well done. However, that is no longer the term or beliefs on which you are establishing your forward moment. You're moving towards ownership of your life, not the lives of others. Ownership of your dreams. Sorry. And you are, in that way, really changing the terms, releasing all of these old expectations, this labeling, this boxing in of what you're allowed to do and who you are allowed to be. that can accompany this great sense of physical exhaustion. And that is also indicated by the Strength card, being careful to tend to your health, really allowing yourself the rest and recuperation, the recovery that you need in order to gain this greater sense of control, not by force, but by pulling in and owning compartments of your authenticity, aspects of your desires, your needs, and taking responsibility for those things. You are very much open to new ideas, and this is in part how your capacity to communicate, make connections with others, and learn is being impacted by this new moon energy. You are really open to pursuing new truths, particularly as you're transitioning out of this time of following the dictates or the conventions of others. You are curious about what alternatives look like. You are absolutely certain that you are coming into a greater sovereignty over yourself, but you are curious about the impact that will have on the world around you, as this is entirely a release of old beliefs that define much of what we understand to be service, work, love, and relationships. So as you release that, you have been doing your own research, finding your own information about what that could be, what that can look like, how it's going to live in your life. And again, you are moving towards this greater sovereignty of yourself, of your own resources, of your own thoughts, your own dreams, the ability to strategize and apply wisdom to the wealth of experience that you have gained. In the past, the Knight of Swords is clarified by the Two of Swords and the King of Cups. The amount of experience you've gained, the wealth of knowledge you have accumulated has in many ways helped you to trust in your intuition. There's kind of a surrender to the amount of quantifiable information that you can gain, that you need. And there's, of course, the eternal quest for more knowledge, more information. It's available. The more we change, the more we learn, the more we know what we don't know. And rather than being caught up in that, you are instead surrendering to your intuition, allowing your ability to connect with the information that already exists as a result of your experiences and that you gain from others, that you are free to make choices and decisions based on what feels right. You understand the ethical nature of the choices that you have to make. As a Libra, you are well accomplished in the art of equity and of balance, harmony, equality, and releasing that, surrendering that, realizing you know enough and that you can employ your intuition to find the best way to be compassionate to others. You have a leadership role here, even if it's behind the throne. And you have gained so much in your ability to understand what others, what institutions, what entities need, what they require, how your vulnerability has actually been your strength. Your ability to counsel and advise, to guide is predicated on this tremendous experience, store of knowledge, and this compassion that you have for the journey it has taken to overcome tremendous obstacles, how you've recovered from errors and mistakes, how you've moved in this transition from conventional living, allowing others' rules to dictate your actions, to this place of venturing into greater control and ownership of yourself. In the present, the Ten of Wands is clarified by the Nine of Swords and the Knight of Wands. I'm feeling this incredible physical release and ability because of your compassion, your tremendous desire to heal, this allegiance and loyalty to traditions and conventions that you are now releasing through this ability to express the emotions of the suffering and pain and loss that you've experienced. By letting yourself give your voice, your expression to releasing these old beliefs, these old labels, these old ideas and structures, and your devotion and loyalty to them, you are actually allowing yourself a step in the best way to recover, to release these emotions and these old beliefs. It's kind of a washing away of self-healing that's allowing new ideas, this new sense of ownership, sovereignty, control of yourself into your life, that you are your own authority. And you're doing that with the inspiration that this release has given you. By releasing these feelings, you're not just exhausted and dead. You're actually inspired. You're making ways to replace these old ideas with ones that come from your inspiration, that come from your sincere desire to expand and grow, to occupy the place that was formerly occupied by rules and regulations and structures and the way things have always been done, conformity to this discovery about who you are, this joy in exploring this new world based on who you are and your natural interest and talents. In the future, the Nine of Cups is clarifying the Emperor, and the Five of Coins is also clarifying. Many of us have been getting the Five of Coins, and I'm going to speak about that first, because there is a sense of joy, contentment, satisfaction in your process of understanding what gives you pleasure, understanding and moving towards what feels good. But that is because you finally gained the courage and the bravery to face down not just the old rules and regulations, but the way they impacted you in your formative years, the way you were labeled by your family, your community, your school, as being not quite enough, as not quite having what it took to be deserving of the abundance that you now seek, that you now know is your birthright. And so this sense of labeling that can seem superficially positive. You know, you're a scientist, you should be a cook, you should be a partner, you should run your own business, you should do this or that, in many ways confines us to a story that may not be our own, and an exploration, a gaining of skills that are going to be useful, but perhaps not in the way that we expected. This is really about building your worth so that you understand that value and you understand it's not negotiable. You're changing the story of this rule-bound existence. And that is, again, providing you with all this abundance, sense of satisfaction, joy, and contentment with not just the vision and the possibilities you see, but your ability to do what's right for you, how much pleasure that gives us. No longer being told what's best for you, but having to discover that for yourself and actually immediately benefiting from that, the joy of that. I'm going to finish up this reading with a couple of oracle cards. The first being the Flora and Fauna of Africa. And I am again going to ask, if you're resonating with this reading, to like this video, to share it with others, to comment below, and to subscribe to my channel, Pacific Tarot. And I pulled the Egyptian cobra. And the plant that is associated with this is Solomon's seal. The key word, naturally, is wisdom. You have power and grace. Know when to use your voice and when to use your venom. Ooh, I like that. And I'm also going to pull a Starry Beginnings and remind you that I am going to do an extended reading. It will be linked in the description box below. And I pulled, you are here for a purpose. Learning, realizing what matters to you. Beautiful. Again, if I don't see you in the extended reading, thank you for your time, and until next time, namaste.